Good everybody, All Ball Podcast here. I'm Josh and this is Connor. Today we're going to be discussing both MLB and NBA topics, so let's get to it.
So, as per usual, I say we talk about baseball first.
Yeah, it's just two quick topics.
Okay. I get what this one is. I didn't see this one. So, you want to I was going to say you want to pull up a video while I talk about this.
Okay.
So, Dodgers have been going through some ups and downs this season. You sent me the thing. So they went like 13-2, and then they went 5-15, and then they went 13-2 again, and now they're 0-3. I would explain a lot of their ups and downs due to a lack of consistency, I'd say, in terms of like health. There's been, or I don't want to say Dodgers have been plagued with injuries, but they haven't been all fully healthy. Plenty of times, and now Bellinger and McKinstry are back, so that's good, I'd say, because now they get at least a little bit more what's the word am I thinking for? Not depth, but like solidarity in their lineup. Yeah. Like they have players that they know they can rely on. Well, for the most part,
yeah,
back in their lineup.
Yeah, so that's big for the Dodgers to get some of their depth back, considering they had literally minor league players come up and play who aren't MLB ready that were playing. Mm-hmm. But here you go. Go ahead and watch this.
So I'll play this video at the same time that I'm watching it.
So Shohei Ohtani throws a high fastball at Mark Canha. And Mark Canha gets a little mad, gets in the catcher's face, and he's just like telling him like, what the hell is that? And I don't think it was intentional at all. But just because I don't know if Ohtani would ever throw at somebody. But then there's a little like clip. Yeah, he said he threw it at my fucking head.
And the whole bench is cleared for that fucking pussy ass sport.
Look at him. And he just smiles at him. He literally just.
Well, yeah, I'm sure he didn't fucking.
It's literally a 0-0 game. See, my bad. It wasn't he wasn't trying to do that. Oh, did he strike him out? He did strike him out. W. Okay, and they threw him out.
Yeah, so bench shouldn't have cleared for that. That was the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life.
It was just funny that Ohtani smiled.
No, it was. But fucking why would you leave the bench for some shit like that, bro? What the fuck was that?
Yeah, and then actually, let's just
what?
Let's just peep the standings.
Okay.
Just a little standings update because we didn't do it last video. Your Blue Jays
My
are
Blue Jays
6
are dog
games back.
shit.
6 games
2 games
back.
positive, barely even a fucking franchise. I was telling Josh, I might as well tell them while you're looking at the standings. So I've been to a few Dodger games, none like super recently, but like when I told you guys I was just starting to get into baseball like this season, and Dodgers won last season, so it wouldn't be right for me to be a Dodger fan, right? I think I already went over that, but I've decided that due to my inability to go to any Blue Jays games at home, because I'm not going all the way to Toronto to watch a home Blue Jays game.
Why?
I'm going to wait until the Dodgers are bad again. Well, I'm going to wait till they're bad. I'm going to wait till they're not winning the World Series type shit, because I think right now they have another chance to go back-to-back. I'll wait until they're chilling, maybe not like pure contenders, and that's when I'm going to like go back to being like going to Dodger. Not back to going to Dodger games, but back to like being a main Dodger fan. I'm always going to have the Blue Jays in the back of my mind, but like, you guys understand, like, when am I going to go to a Blue Jays game? When am I going to go to Toronto to watch a game? It's not as often as I can drive down to LA and watch a game there.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to do it yet because, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be a bandwagon. That's just kind of... I would hate if someone hopped on the Lakers bandwagon right now. Well, I guess right now isn't, like, the worst time. We're not that good, but... But I would hate if someone hopped on the Lakers right after we win a chip. I wouldn't like it.
Yeah, but just to go over like some standing updates, I know that the Rays are at the top of the AL East and they've won like 12 out of their last 13 games, so they're rolling. What? You just finished that one.
That's my water. If you already drank out of it, I don't care. It's all good. It's new? Sick. Why are you going to purposely drink my water? That's what you're doing, aren't you?
Why would I purposely drink your water? How is this yours?
Why would you drink my water?
How's this yours?
Okay, look at all the water bottles you got out. Right?
Oh, here, switch me.
You fucking...
Sounds
oh
fine.
my god. I'm gonna get out for a second while he says dumb shit.
So then, just like we mentioned that like 3 weeks ago, the Orioles were at the top of the AL East towards the beginning of the season. They're now 17-36. They're 16 games back already. They're about as many games back as they have wins already.
Yeah. No, they are.
And then the Twins are still struggling, 7-3 in their last 10, so maybe they're gonna pick it back up. But they're already 11 games back. Angels suck.
What did you say the best record of all time was? Like 118 or something?
Yeah.
What's the worst record of all time? Or is that not something that you just keep on standby?
No, I just know best because I don't plan the Dodgers on being the worst.
Well, I don't plan on them being the worst either, but it's kind of just funny to know.
It's probably like 50.
1899? No way. 1899, baseball was a sport?
20-1.
The Cleveland Spiders were 20-134.
So that's not even as many games as we.
154, now that's like 12 games under.
We do 162, so 8.
Well, there's probably like 3 teams back then. So they weren't going to play 162.
Yeah. And then the Padres, Giants, and Dodgers are all kind of just fighting for that top 3 right now. Dodgers were in the 2-hole and like half a game back from the Padres, but then the Giants just won 3 in a row against us.
So that flipped the stands a little bit.
Yeah. That's really it. And then I forgot. Another MLB topic.
Oh, shit, he forgot.
You know who Marcell Ozuna is?
I know who Marcellus Howard is.
You know who Marcell Ozuna is?
I actually don't know who that is.
He's the guy that, like, he went like this. Like, he took a picture.
So, he's the dude who I said Azuna Matata when I was learning all the players on, like, the first few episodes.
Yeah. So, he...
He's in jail?
He threw his wife against the wall.
That's hot.
But she didn't like it.
Oh.
So,
that's even hotter.
you know how it's like, you know...
No, I'm just playing. No, I get you. He
That's
threw
like-
his wife against the wall, but she didn't like it.
So...
Seeing him choke his wife, throw her against the wall, and strike her with the cast on his... You don't like that?
No, because he has, like, 2 broken fingers.
So
I
you
think
don't
he
like
just,
that?
like, backhanded her.
Nah, you don't like that. You don't like this, huh?
I don't know, but...
He's backhanded her with 2 fingers?
But he's in jail now.
In jail? Not
what
even prison? He should
Not
go to
sure.
prison.
No, he might. They said it could be 2 to 30 years.
Yeah, he should go to prison. 30 years for beating a girl up? What the fuck?
Ozuna broke 2 fingers in a game, was placed on the injury list. He's expected to miss several weeks, and then he's
He's gonna miss more than that.
Yeah, so
Free my boy Azuna till it's backwards.
yeah, and then look at his just put this picture on the screen.
I got you.
Yeah, so
Threatened to kill his wife.
Marcelo
Wow.
Ozuna,
If you don't threaten to
being
kill
an
your
idiot.
wife, like, why'd you even get married to her? That toxic shit. Come on now. No, all seriousness, no, we don't condone any of that shit. It's just funny to joke about.
yeah, but so it looks like they lost their guy for probably the year.
And now she gets an MLB contract in her lap.
Maybe.
Well, it's not going to go to him.
Well, it should probably go to like his mom or something.
Well, unless they have a prenup, she has fucking the right to all his money. Well, not all of it, but
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying.
who knows what their deal is? But moving on to
moving
NBA.
on to the Bucks. Yeah, the Bucks versus the Heat. Last
Should we
season.
just talk about games 3 and 4?
Yeah, well, yeah. That's what we're gonna do for all these.
Okay.
Last year it was a very close series, and the Heat came out on top, obviously, because they ultimately ended up going to the finals. This year we were looking to see them run it back, and that did not happen. It actually
Bubble, guppies. Bubble, guppies.
it actually went the absolute opposite.
Guppies.
The Heat got
Bubble
swept.
guppies.
Um,
Bubble guppies.
Jimmy Butler sucks at basketball.
Let's just talk about his stat line.
Bam also didn't show up very well this year, and those are their 2 best players. So what happens?
Oh my god, I seen the picture on Twitter of Bam with the fat girl, and they said Bam hasn't been the same since this picture got released.
If you can find that picture, send it to me and I'll put it on screen.
Okay, so just to go over some of Jimmy's stat lines, right? Or actually,
Let me get his averages. You could talk about his stat lines.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get his averages.
so 17, 10, and 8, not too bad, right? But he shot 4 of 22 in game 1.
Which is
then-
fucking bad.
In game 2, 10, 2, and 4 on 4 of 10 shooting. Which, that's whatever, but that's not playoff Jimmy Butler. Then in game 3, 19, 8, and 6 on 7 of 17 shooting. Probably his best game. Or overall, yeah, 7 of 17. It's about 40%.
That's his best shooting game.
Then in game 4, where they just got swept, he had a triple-double. 12, 10, and 10 on 4 of 15 shooting.
Good shit. And a loss too. By how much? How much was that loss?
Like 30.
Yeah, good shit. Sure, it paid off for him. Go back to the stats for a
17.
second. Okay.
So yeah, Jimmy Butler didn't show up. Also,
So
have you seen the video from the start of the year when Jason Tatum called Tyler Hero a bubble fraud?
we were talking about that last episode.
Um,
But before we talk about that, so I did calculate his averages. He averaged 14, 7, and 7, which actually isn't atrocious. It's bad though. Especially if you're
not Jimmy Butler
if you're the best player, and he shot that on, or he did that on probably about 35% shooting.
19 of
Because that's
32.
That's like 22%, 21%.
32,
That's
shut up.
40%. That's probably like
49 plus.
he shot bad. He shot probably about 35, 37, 38%.
Yeah. And he doesn't shoot very many threes, and he shot 9 of them in game 1, which was totally uncalled for. He's not a three-point shooter. And then
Moving on to bubble fraud.
Tyler Fraud Hero put this picture on screen.
Put that specific one on
This
screen? Okay, I'll put that
Tyler
on screen.
Fraud Hero.
Not even a bad picture. I bet he got bitches with that picture.
He did. Struggled every game.
Shot 2 for 10, 1 for 5, 4 for 10, 5 for 13. So he's shooting fucking like 30% too.
Yeah.
And he's only averaging like 9 points.
9 points.
Yeah, he's averaging like fucking 9 points.
What a bubble fraud.
He's averaging like 9 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist. Or 2 assists on like 30%.
Yeah, so Tyler Hero didn't show up. Whether that was the crowd getting into it, whether that was just him not being comfortable.
Whether that was him not being in a bubble.
Yeah, who knows? But
Doesn't matter. They fucking got swept.
But the Bubble Guppies have been eliminated from the NBA playoffs, and we'll see you next year.
Will we? You think they're going to keep the whole team together? Do you think they still trust in this formula after they got fucking swept? Not even just swept.
What do they need?
That looked like a 1-8 seed.
What do they need?
They need a star player that doesn't average 14, 7, and 7 on terrible efficiency. They need a good number 2. You could pull up Bam's stats too. I know Bam didn't do. Oh.
You know the Magic put up a better fight against the Bucks last year than the Heat did.
Mm-hmm. So Bam averaged probably about
14.
15. I'd give it about 15 on probably 15 on a decent efficiency. His rebounding was atrocious in the middle 2 games. He just wasn't like, if your 2 best players are playing like are putting up role player stats on not great efficiency,
Not gonna win.
how the fuck are you gonna win a game?
Yeah, you need.
And then when your role
players.
players are playing like fucking casuals, their whole team, whatever level they were
took
at,
a step down.
I was gonna say whatever level that they were at during the season. You have the star players acting like role players acting like casuals, and I'm sure their casuals were acting like fucking
Nobodies.
And what were their nobodies acting like, or if they even got
The nobodies
pizza?
weren't even. They just no.
They were just fans.
Yeah.
That series was dreadful, and
Yeah.
it definitely did not.
I'm pretty sure like almost everybody thought that was gonna be the best series.
I thought it was gonna be Heat in 7 when we were talking about it. Literally before the, because when Bam and Jimmy did bad in the first round or in the first game, I literally said I was like, we're not gonna have another game like that. Like, so this series is gonna be good because like they're gonna bounce back.
Yeah.
And they fucking didn't bounce back. Last night took a L, but tonight I took a L. That's what they're listening to tonight.
Yeah, so the Heat have been eliminated. The Bucks advance. Want to talk about that chant though?
You can talk about it. That's all you. That's your topic, buddy.
So the Heat ended the last 2 games at home. I'm scratching myself.
That's not what you were doing.
And the Heat fans were obviously upset at their team, right? So they started chanting, we're fucking shit. We're fucking shit. Something like that. I don't know. I don't remember the melody exactly. It was a good melody. It was like very consistent. Like they knew what they were doing.
What the fuck are you saying?
They knew what they were doing with that chant. And
I'm glad they knew what they were doing with that chant.
that was probably the best Heat highlight in the series.
So I'm doing a little bit more math. All right.
They lost by an average of
So 2 plus What is that? 34
Oh my god.
plus, what is that? 16 plus 13, 29 plus 17 divided by 4. They lost by an average of 20 points. An average of 25 points.
And if they didn't have that first 2-point game, Jesus.
it would have been about 30.
Jeez. That's just
And
embarrassing.
we predicted that was going to be the best series, and they lost by an average of 20 points.
Yeah.
Let's move off of the shitty-ass series.
Onto some good series.
Onto a very good series, and we're going in chronological order of yesterday's games, or
Thursday.
Yeah, the games after after our last episode. So all the games after our last episode, the first game of it, because I say we just talk about the series.
Yeah, might
together?
as well not do one game and then wait. And
Yeah, I get you. So the next one would be the Lakers Suns, who since our last podcast, Lakers took a game first, Suns took a game this, I guess you could say, afternoon. Lakers looked good. Chris Paul was out. Actually, I'm not even going to say Lakers looked good, but Lakers were meshing well. Like, Lakers had the chemistry up, we had the energy up. It was a good game. KCP got hurt. AD got hurt. Chris Paul came back. And the tide completely changed. Suns took the game this morning. Looking forward, so AD's injuries...
So fuck Thursday?
I just talked about 2 games. They didn't play 3 games. What are you talking about?
Oh, okay. I get no, you're right.
Because there's not much... Okay, so we could talk about that game. If Chris Paul was in the game, it's a completely different story. They were all meshing well.
AD went off. He got to the free throw
Andre
line
Drummond has been getting fucked by DeAndre Ayton the entire series. We finally gave what's his name some minutes, Marc Gasol. He's doing okay defensively. There's not much to say about that. The first game we won the game, but it's because Devin Booker got ejected. He was in foul trouble the whole night. Chris Paul didn't play. I'm not very impressed by that win. I'm glad we won the game because that put us up 2-1, but that's not really a game to brag about. You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't convincing.
That's not a game that the Suns do all the time. Chris Paul played, or he got 7 points, and that was because he kept having to fucking leave and come back. Devin Booker fouled out and had a 19-point game. We know that's not Devin Booker. And DeAndre Ayton, I would say, has been the best consistent player this whole series. Not to undermine Chris Paul's performance, not to undermine Devin Booker's performance. DeAndre Ayton has been fucking up our centers the whole series.
Today was his worst day.
It was.
DeAndre Ayton. And he still didn't do bad.
Yeah, he still didn't even do bad.
But yeah, then that second game, which was earlier today. Chris Paul looked actually healthy. He didn't, not 100%, but I'd say about 90.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think he's taken a 3 this whole series.
He has.
I don't think he has.
He has. Seen it today.
He shot his first 3s. Oh no, he made one. Oh, he's 1 for 4. That's what it was, because they were showing the stat. So he's taking 4 threes this whole series. He's averaging a 3 a game, and he's only made 1 of them. And he took 3 of them today and missed all 3 of them. I think honestly
he was shooting from the top of the key today.
I think honestly he was just testing out his shoulder.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was.
Just wanted to see how it felt, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then everybody contributed today for the Suns. No one really stood out. Devin Booker had
Frank
17.
Kaminsky didn't contribute.
Yeah, he sucked.
I'm playing.
17 for Jay Crowder. Bridges had 11. DeAndre Ayton had 14 and 17. Devin Booker had 17. Chris Paul had 18. Cameron Payne had 13.
Not a single player scored over 20 points, and they won because the end score was 100-92.
Yeah.
That's like a 2005 scoreline. We have 100-92, and then later we're going to get to a game where they scored 141 in regulation.
Yeah. And then LeBron had to turn it up towards the end of the game.
But it wasn't enough.
It wasn't enough. I'll be honest. I don't think he can do that for a whole game.
I'm going to be honest. If our second best player is fucking Marc Gasol, we're not winning another game. So just to talk about how bad it was. So we were doing okay. Anthony Davis got hurt, and we played with no energy for the rest of the game. So in terms of just stats, or in terms of just points, LeBron had 25. All right, our next highest scorer was Marc Gasol with 12. If Marc Gasol is your second best scorer, you're not going to win the night. Kyle Kuzma was our third best scorer, and he's been having a shitty series. He had 11. Alex Caruso had 10, and then after that, not a single player in double digits. We had AD with 6, but he obviously got hurt. Andre Drummond had 5 because he's bad at basketball. Dennis Schroeder.
He's bad at basketball.
Dennis Schroeder had 8. That was a terrible game for him. Wesley Matthews had 6. We don't expect much from him, but when no one else is scoring, you know what I'm saying? Ben McLemore had 6. Markieff had 3. Montrez didn't score fucking for shit.
He only got in the fourth quarter.
He's not getting much PT this series. It's because coach gave
Drummond.
coach is giving Marc Gasol his minutes, which I slightly agree with, but at the same time, at this point, take Drummond out the fucking lineup. Marc Gasol is playing better than Andre Drummond in terms of defense, which, if you've been watching, he has none of it. Montrez is kind of a mismatch because DeAndre Ayton can score on Montrez, but at least Montrezl Harrell's putting up more than 5 points a fucking game. If you put Montrez in and give him the minutes that you're giving Drummond, he's scoring more than 5 a game. Because DeAndre Ayton's not a great defender, especially against Montrezl Harrell, who's scrappy, and we'll get to the free throw line and shit. Lakers aren't doing too good.
They said that
AD got a groin strain,
They said AD's day to day,
but that's
I watched a video on it actually, like some doctor dude.
I see that. He's on YouTube all the time. He's like, how serious is this injury?
Yeah, he said for him to be fully healed, it's gonna be around like 2 weeks.
Yes. It's not a groin strain has never been a day-to-day injury. When LeBron had his groin strained like 2 seasons ago when it was like that Lonzo Ball season, pretty sure he sat out for like 3 weeks.
Yeah. He said 2 weeks and he might be able to play on it if they rush him back, but like
it's not
that's
looking
just risking injury again.
It's not looking good for the Lakers. We'll see what we can do, but you know, like we played while Chris Paul was hurt. Now they get to play while AD is hurt.
Yep, that's how it is.
That's just how that shit goes.
2 good NBA players who are fragile.
Mm-hmm. No, and so I was telling Josh because what? I don't know why this came up.
Okay.
I think I had this up from earlier.
Okay.
I was telling Josh, like, a lot of people were like, say AD never got hurt, a lot of people were gonna say Lakers won the series because Chris Paul got hurt.
That's how it always is.
But my point was when you sign Chris Paul, you know he's injury prone. He's been injured in all the playoffs. Like that wasn't much of an excuse. Now it goes the same way for the Lakers. We signed AD knowing he's very injury prone. We hope he didn't get hurt, but he got hurt. So it's like you can't be surprised by it. We knew what we were paying for. It's like if there's a fucking like you remember when the androids were like blowing up a few years ago, like when they were all catching on fire?
Yeah.
That's like if you knew that and then went to the store and bought one and got mad that yours caught on fire. Like you knew it was gonna happen. But no more on that. I don't want to talk about the Lakers anymore. Get well AD, get well Chris Paul. Let's get a good series. If the Lakers were to get eliminated by any team, I'd probably rather it be the Suns just because I like Chris Paul. I like Devin Booker. I'd be cool to see them go on a little run. But obviously I want the Lakers to figure this shit out as best as we can.
Yeah, but moving on from that series, fuck that series.
Fuck that series.
This series is so... The Nuggets and Blazers series is so, like...
Wishy-washy as fuck.
Yeah, it's...
It's not consistent at all. We haven't had...
It's so back and forth.
It is. The series is probably the most unpredictable series.
Yeah.
Just because, like you say a lot, the Nuggets don't have Jamal Murray, which is a big piece. Dame can sometimes will his team to a win. Sometimes he can't. Sometimes he has... But I think, if you look at the other game, I'll pull up the other game, but you show that one.
Yeah.
That's what I put right here. 2 totally different games. Which game is this one? Is this tonight's?
No, this was Thursday when Jokic got help from...
Okay, so you're pulling up that one. I'm going to pull up last night's game, or...
Yesterday.
Last night's game.
You mentioned that they're taking away Jokic's, like, assist opportunities. He still only had 5.
Yeah, and he's dropping 36 instead. Their game plan is to not let Jokic score. But we'll talk about this one. So something I wrote down in the notes were that these 2 games were like completely different games. Austin Rivers dropped 20 points. Shout out to Austin Rivers. Going over here though, what's his name was trying to do his best. Dame was trying his best. He had 37. I think that was Carmelo's birthday, if I'm not wrong. They were singing happy birthday to him, to Carmelo Anthony in that game. But they just didn't have enough. The Nuggets ended up winning by 5.
I didn't watch any of this.
This next game after this other game, Trailblazers got 115 again, but instead the Nuggets only had 95. Now you look at the Nuggets, Jokic had 1 assist, right? The whole game he had 1 assist. But he didn't get to scoring this game. He only had 16. If you look at the rest of his team, he had 16. Campazzo had 12. Monte Morris had 12. Michael Porter Jr. had 3. Aaron Gordon had 6. Austin Rivers had 8. Marcus Howard had 9. Marcus Howard used to be a two-way player this season, by the way. Nobody was putting the ball in the basket.
He made 1 free throw.
Who, Jokic? I don't know if that's the math that you just did. He had 12 and then a 3. So yeah, he made 1 free throw. If you look at the Trailblazers, so you would think Trailblazers got 115 points, 20-point win over the Nuggets. You would think like, oh, Dame probably did his thing.
I did not even see that.
So if you look at the stat line, this is one that I'll probably put a picture of just so you could really get a look at the stat line. Damian Lillard almost had a 10-point triple-double.
Yeah, right? He had a Westbrook type.
Yeah, he had 10 points and 10 assists. And then you're thinking, oh, maybe CJ McCollum was the one that led the game. He had 21. He's probably been averaging 20 this series. And you're like, who got it done for them? Norman Powell dropped 30 points.
That trade piece.
Norman Powell dropped 30 points in a 20-point win against the Nuggets. So that's why I was saying these were 2 totally different games. In that game, they lost, and what's his name? Lillard had 36 or something? 37. In this game, they won by 20, and their best player had 10 points.
I'm sorry, but Michael Lamar Porter Jr. cannot have 3 points in 23 minutes.
He had 3. He took 3 shots. He needs to take way more shots than that.
Yeah.
Shout out to Keljin Blevins, though. That boy played 3 minutes, got 2 points. TJ Leaf, the little bucket getter, too. He used to play with Lonzo Ball. Where did he play with Lonzo Ball?
UCLA.
Oh, you got it. Good shit. I'm gonna start quizzing you on colleges because you're fucking this big old college guy. Where did Derek Jones Jr. play?
I don't know.
Yeah, neither do I.
He's a weirdo. But moving on from that, that series, like he said, the most unpredictable series. Moving on from this
to another, I thought was going to be a good series.
Let's go to the A-Town. It's still going to be a good series because where's his team from?
Atlanta.
What are they known for?
Gay people.
And?
Migos. What are they known for? What's Atlanta known for? What am I looking at? Oh, Dodgers made them blow a 3-1 lead. That's not what they're known for. Atlanta fell. Oh, are they known for that? Is that an Atlanta thing? Because the Falcons,
they were up 28-3.
Falcons blew a 28-3, and the Braves blew a 3-1 lead in a series.
And
the Hawks are up 3-1. I don't see it. I don't give a fuck. I don't see it. There's no way. So let's talk about this series. The Hawks. Hawks, since the last episode, went 2-0.
The Hawks took game 1 on a Trae Young floater. The Knicks took game 2.
And he said, "I'm gonna see you in the A."
He said, "We'll see you in the A." See you in the A.
And they took both games in Atlanta. And can I say so? Everyone's talking about Trae Young like he's becoming this villain or he's taking the role of like the bad guy, but like he's like backing it up. He's putting up some. For this to be his first time in the playoffs,
he looks experienced.
He's so ready for it. Yeah. He's so ready for it.
Obadiah Toppin.
I hate that that's his name. The Hawks, they're doing their thing. They're getting their shit done. I think that they're going to end this. It might go to 6. I could see the Knicks maybe taking the first game back in New York.
And then it goes back
but it's going to go back to Atlanta again, and I got Atlanta winning that. But speaking of the Knicks, so the Knicks I don't think they're as good of a team as the Hawks, especially when their best player, Julius Randle, sucks at basketball. Like he's so bad at basketball.
At the sport he plays.
I wrote it down last time and I wrote it down again. Derrick Rose is the Knicks' best player in these playoffs. It's not Julius Randle. It's Derrick Rose. And it's kind of cool to see. I wish that they were winning games, but it's cool to see Derrick Rose. I sent you a tweet, I think. I don't know if you've seen it or not.
Yeah, we'll see you in the A.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, we'll see you in the A. And then he played 34 minutes and didn't score a single point. It wasn't that game. It was the other game. He played 34 minutes after tweeting, yeah, we'll see you in the A. And then it was in today's game.
Yeah,
and then
but I want to mention that after the first game on Thursday, I wrote, like, because we have, like, our little notes thing. I deleted it, though, and I said, the Hawks have just too much firepower. Because just look how well-rounded they are. Lou Williams, 11 minutes, 9 points off the bench. Kevin Huerter, 10 points. Gallinari, 12 points. Trae Young, 21. Bogdanovich, 15. Clint Capella, 13. John Collins, 14. DeAndre Hunter, 11. So that's 5.
John Collins,
6,
14
7.
and a busted lip. With a busted lip.
7. 7 players in double digits, and basically 8 because Lou Williams had 9 points.
And only 10 minutes, yeah.
And then this was just... I think if Julius Randle shows up, he's just say they can make it a series. RJ Barrett hasn't been doing shit either.
Yeah, and you know who's actually been low-key underrated? This guy right here. DeAndre Hunter's defense, he's not afraid to like be physical with Julius Randle like that. Julius Randle likes to play like a strong game, like he'll muscle his way to his spots, and DeAndre Hunter's not putting up with it, and that's why he's struggling so much. And this game will show you a 23, 10, and 7.
It looks decent, but he's so bad.
It's inflated stats.
Garbage time minutes.
Yeah, it was literally it was
garbage time buckets. My bad.
It was the end of the game. He was fucking
going off.
He was padding his stats against the fucking Hawks G League, their B team. But yeah, I could see the Knicks bouncing back and taking one in New York just because the energy. And I said when they lost in New York, I said that the Hawks are too young of a team to like be able to handle it. I don't know. In Atlanta, they look like obviously they had home court, so it's different. But like you just said right now, Trae Young looks like he's been here before. He looks like he's used to it.
I'm sorry, he doesn't look like this is his first time.
I'm sure he got those overrated chants in high school, because he loves it. He loves it. He's feeling it. He's thriving with it.
And I like that. I hate his game and like sometimes like how he does a little get behind people.
You don't like that shit. He crabs you and then fucking.
But like, still, I like how he's talking. That shit.
You like his personality, not his play style.
Yeah. So our next series is probably the most long.
No, that was the Heat Bucks.
Yeah, that's why I stopped myself, and probably Wizards Sixers is more too.
Yeah.
But Celtics and Nets, we went back to Boston on Thursday to play 2, and
your MVP went off.
Yes, the MVP of the NBA.
The MVP, your MVP, nobody else's MVP.
Real NBA fans know he's the MVP of the NBA this year.
Real NBA fans.
Jason Tatum had 50 points.
Shout out Jason Tatum.
Skinny Boy could not guard him on this night.
I think the number that someone threw out was 31.
In isolation.
ISO points?
Yeah. We got very lucky that Kyrie Irving shot 35% from the field, or else we would have lost, because we still only won by 6.
Harden put up 41 and 10. Kevin Durant put up 39 and 9 rebounds, not assists. And Kyrie only had 16. So Jason Tatum's 50 and Marcus Smart's 23 were enough to put it over the hump by 6 points.
And I didn't even know Tristan Thompson had 19 and 13.
I didn't realize. I seen that he had a bunch of offensive rebounds that game, but I didn't see he had 19 points.
And you know Romeo Langford was guarding KD?
I think I seen him in check into the game. He was in the game late, huh?
He was in the game for almost 30 minutes. I did not know he had a 7-foot wingspan.
I didn't know that either. What the fuck? No way, he's 6'4" with a 7-foot wingspan.
Yeah, that's what they said.
That's actually kind of crazy. That's like me being like 5'10" with like a 6'5" wingspan.
Yeah. See, Langford makes the most of his opportunity. But, yeah, so thankfully we had somebody step up.
And you guys didn't get swept. I think that was... It sounds like a bitch thing to say, but...
We won!
You guys got a game. We all knew what was going to happen with you guys being kind of sidelined by Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown's injury.
Yeah.
But you got a 50-point game out of Jason Tatum. He dropped another like 40 today.
Yeah. But we lost because we had 2 more starters who didn't start today.
Kemba
that being Robert Williams.
And Kemba.
Kemba decided to have a knee boner in his knee.
He had one of those.
So he sat out. And then Robert Williams got hurt, like he sprained his ankle in game 3 or something like that. So we weren't able to hold up. We just don't have enough players.
So the team that he was going up against that was already hurt had to go up against a 42-point night from Kevin Durant, a 39-point night from Kyrie Irving, and a 23-point, 18-assist night from James Harden. Not many teams could beat that. Your team definitely couldn't beat that. How many points is that altogether?
That's 103, I think, was the number.
45 plus 39?
That is...
65 plus 39. 65 plus 39.
It's like 103, 104.
Yeah, 104 points. That's a lot. That's a lot of points. It's a lot of points to deal with.
Yeah. But I mean, Tatum still put up 40, Fournier 16, Marcus Smart 16, Payton Pritchard 12. Just it's not enough. It's not.
It's not enough when Mike James is getting minutes. If Mike James is getting minutes, you're gonna lose.
It's not enough.
Moving on.
Also Deuce needs to be patched. Every time Deuce is at the game,
I forgot I wrote that.
Every time Deuce is at the game and it's visible, Tatum goes off. I think Tatum has 4 50-point games, and I think Deuce has been at all 4.
And I think 2 of them had no-hitters. But speaking of this, who said that? Because I think
Kellerman.
Max Kellerman, that's who it was.
This was on Wednesday, too, so this was before he dropped 50. Max Kellerman said, I think I would take John Morant over Jason Tatum going forward.
I have nothing to say. That's a dumbass take. But Max Kellerman got paid to say it.
Okay, so like realistically, where would you rank Jason Tatum and John Morant in best players in the league right now? Like just
Jason Tatum's floating around 15 or 16.
Okay. John Morant's
floating around like 30.
That's what I was thinking. Well, not the Jason Tatum part, but the John Morant thing. I think.
Yeah, because you think Jason Tatum's the 9th best player in the fucking league.
He's probably 6 now.
You're not serious. But John Morant's around like
he probably
anywhere from 25, probably around 25.
Yeah, he probably passed up Kawhi by now though.
Who, Jason Tatum?
Yeah.
Yeah? Is that what you think?
Yeah. But that's another topic for another day since he just wants to be delusional.
No.
But moving on from that series is probably over. Once they go back to Brooklyn, we're probably going to lose the next game, and we'll see you next year.
And so this is probably going to be the last good series we have to talk about, I would say. And it's only good because of the last 2 games that happened. So when we were recording last time, it was 2-0 Mavericks, and
we were saying Clippers need to blow it all up.
Because Kawhi wasn't performing, PG wasn't performing.
No, don't say that.
Kawhi didn't. You want to say he had an okay game. It wasn't. He had like 22 points on he had one 40-point game, but it was on a loss to Doncic, and then the other game was like not good.
Stop.
So he started off the series with a 26, and I said that wasn't a good game, which it wasn't.
No, it's not a good game, but it's not a bad game by any
Doncic
means.
fucked him up on this game, dropped 40 on his head in a loss. So that was he didn't have a bad game, but
he had a bad defensive night.
He had
because Luka's embarrassing everybody.
How do I say this? I guess let me take that one back because it wasn't bad. This was a bad game. I don't care what the fuck the stats say. That was a bad game. Just watching him play. And then, I guess in the second game, they just overworked him. They had him doing too much. So that's what I'll say. It wasn't really his fault. They just put too much on his plate, and he couldn't eat it all. But,
so
he's been doing great. He's been doing great, so I'll give him his props. I love Kawhi Leonard.
The Clippers went down 2-0, headed back to Dallas, and they just won the
Dallas
last 2
took
games.
2 in L.A., Clippers took 2 in Dallas.
Yeah, which that's probably pretty rare.
Yeah. So Paul George is stepping up. I'll pull up PG stats. Ooh.
Do you think it'll come if you put PG?
Yeah. So it will. I checked it earlier. So Luka in the first loss had 44, 9, and 9, almost a 45-point triple double. That wasn't a loss because Porzingis wants to be in the post with Reggie Jackson on his back
and fade away
at the free throw line. It's getting me mad more and more every time I see it, but I keep seeing it more and more. So, I don't know why I'm surprised at this point. Tonight...
What the fuck? I did not...
You tried going on Twitter.
I did.
Tonight, Luka's been... He had, a shoulder injury that came from his neck, and I guess he's kind of been playing through it a little bit, but, it's starting to show now. He's slowing down a little bit. He's still getting buckets, but, at the same time, I think he's shooting like 40% from the free throw line or something like that. He shot 5 today, missed all 5 free throws.
Yeah, it's got to be bothering him pretty bad.
Yeah, Luka's he's feeling it, and if this is the case, if he's slowing down due to an injury,
Clippers win.
Clippers got this series in the bag because Mavericks can't do it without him.
No.
And at the same time, do you want to hurt your franchise player badly when he's like this young? He has so much time.
Yeah.
No. We'll see. We'll see how the series goes. A lot of this depends on this next game. Game 5 is a very important game.
If he feels better, like how Chris Paul felt today,
then
it's still a series. But if not, then I'm sorry, but the Clippers probably got it in the bag.
Clippers finally. Oh, actually, never mind. They're still only going to the second round. But what's that? What is this series? A 3-6?
Yeah.
So they get to play the winner of the Lakers Suns.
No.
2-3 plays. Is this the 3-6 or is this the 4-5?
This is 4-5.
Is that the 4-5?
Yeah.
So they play the Jazz.
Yeah.
I can see the Clippers finally getting past the second round this year. I'm actually proud of them if they make it that
I just want to date back to what he said that like Porzingis was fading away, all that blah blah blah. He only had 9 points in that 44-point triple double damn near game, and Dorian Finney-Smith had 6 points. Not gonna win.
Kristaps Porzingis is a bitch, bro. I love Porzingis too. Like I just love him as a player. He's 7'4" and he can shoot, but like
sometimes you got to use your height.
Sometimes if you're 7'4" and you're being guarded by a 6-footer, bro, put your ass on him and fucking at least a hook shot. If you're not going to get to
close to the
paint,
basket.
yeah, at least a hook shot.
Yeah, and then today was a very lopsided win.
So the next series, very lopsided win. This is the game that we were talking about. That what's his name? Luka shot 0 for 5 from free throw. He's not Pandemic P anymore. It's only been a few games, but
What is that?
I guess he's coming back a little bit. First game was a little iffy. It wasn't the best of his games. It was a bad game, and I will say it. Since then,
pretty good. Except for this game, he was all right.
Yeah, 6 for 16, but he didn't really need it all that much. They were up by 20-something.
Yeah. And
now, before we get into the last 2 series, because they are kind of shitty series and we'll blow through them pretty quick, everybody has been getting on Paul George. And I know you've probably seen this online because the conversation is starting to be raised. Everybody's been getting on Paul George the past few years. Pandemic P, right? Why is nobody talking about Pandemic Butler?
Jimmy
Butler's dog shit.
He went off last year.
Who the fuck cares? He's doing shit this year and no one's talking about it.
He went off last year, so he gets a pass. And they got to the finals.
We need to hold. If we're gonna, so on top 10 lists.
Oh, did you hear what he said?
No.
Before the playoffs, he's like, "I'm locked in."
Oh yeah, he said I'm stupidly locked in. So if we're gonna call Jimmy Butler better than Paul George, then we should hold him to a better standard than Paul George. Because would you agree that we had Jimmy Butler above Paul George at the start of the season?
Yeah.
Do we still have him above Paul George or no?
No. I don't.
I just feel like there needs to be more dialogue on that. I'm sure me and you both have the same take on it, though. He underperformed, so he's not as good as Paul George as of right now. But I feel like he should be getting more flack. I don't think he gets a pass. Fuck that. Moving on. This next series is the Sixers-Wizards series. I, for one, did not watch this last game. Let me look it up. Sixers game. When did they play this game? I'm very sorry. I don't feel like watching this series anymore.
So I have a cousin, he's a Sixers fan, and he wants their respect. I mentioned that their role players don't do shit.
A couple nights ago, Davis Bertans shot 4 shots, missed all of them. Got a couple rebounds, though.
0, 2, and 0.
The Latvian laser.
Yeah. Supposed to be some type of lethal shooter.
He is a lethal shooter, though. That's the thing. He can get hot fucking quick.
I know, but 0 for 4 and 2 for 6 and 1 for 5 from 3.
No, yeah, you're right.
It's not cutting it.
So, but speaking of, so this Wizards series, it's over. There's no way they come back 3-0. It's not something that I'm going to put any effort into. Especially because, what time was their game this other day?
10 a.m.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was fucking working. Yeah, I was busy. Fuck that game. I was not going to. You know what I'm saying?
It's not worth it.
So he wants the respect. I'm sorry, I can't give it to your team yet. I already told you in the group chat, so you know exactly what I'm saying. But Sixers, this isn't a series that impresses me.
Next, they get to play the Hawks.
So they get to play the Hawks. That's definitely going to be a bit more trouble, but I expect them to win that series too.
Probably in 6 or 5.
Because this is 1-8, so they play 4-5. I guess your goal is to try to take a couple games from Brooklyn if they make it all the way that far, but there's no point going that far ahead. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Moving on, last series, I also think that this one's a little bit after that Grizzlies win because Donovan Mitchell wasn't in. It's been lackluster. Something that I do want to talk about though, Dillon Brooks. Obviously, it's playoffs. Not everybody plays the same way in playoffs like they do in the regular season. But if you look at Dillon Brooks' performance, it's very, very how do I say this?
Como se dice?
Como se dice? But it's like when you say something too early, premature. You know what I'm I don't want to say, but Dillon Brooks is looking like he's better, like a better number 2 than Jaren Jackson Jr., Trey J. Because the way that they're building the team is around Ja Morant at the guard, Jaren Jackson Jr. at the big man. Like, that's their mold, you know what I'm saying? And this is like one of the role players, like one of the...
Casuals.
Yeah, like how you have your 2 stars and then you have your... players that you build on. Like for you guys, for example, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and then your role players like Marcus Smart, Kemba, that type of shit. This is like the Marcus Smart type of shit. But he's been playing out of his mind. He dropped 30 points in that first game, 23 in the second game, not to mention that was a 10 for 14 night. And I think that's they lost that game, they won this one. And then this last night, even though they lost, he dropped 27.
That was a good game last night, though.
And not only that, but he's also a great defender. Is he the number 2 on that team? Obviously, it's only been 3 games. We'll see what happens next season, but he's playing with a lot of confidence. He's a great scorer as of right now. He's a great defender as of right now. I think he might be that number 2.
This team's just too young.
No, it's very young. Nobody has like any type of set role yet at all. Yeah. So who knows?
Yeah, but that's going to wrap it up.
And he's Canadian.
That's going to wrap it up for today, guys. Thanks for watching if you made it this far.
Make sure you guys like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment.
And we'll see you guys on Thursday.